What's happening, everybody?
Ye fucking ha.
Yeah.
The show would have started on time if we had our Foster watches on.
Yeah, man, but we didn't. So
No,
why
would we ever?
We were slipping. Anyway, if you guys have not had a chance to go to phosphorwatches.com, run your ass over there and check it out. Or click on the link below in the description and see the contest we're doing this month. You can have a free Phosphor watch if you're the winner this month, or you can get some free iTunes gift cards.
Good luck.
Now,
because Molly out in Seattle's killing y'all.
Oh, yeah, man. They...
And her meth trailer. George does not give a fuck today. He is.
Yeah, you guys are in store for a really good MMA show. First, we're going to do the recap of 153.
Fuck, MMA's broken.
And then we're going to talk about some more developing news,
Dude,
which
UFC
you guys will
153 was absolutely phenomenal in my opinion.
It really was a good show. Good show, good event, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and it just.
Now, let's start with the first welterweight bout. We'll go through this stuff really quick because we're not going to.
Damian Maia's cut down the 170 and found a home, and he's got back to doing what he does well, submitting people. Rick Story, latest victim. Now,
it has a fucking kink in his neck.
On the Phil Davis, who won again by anaconda choke.
Yeah, that's like his favorite thing to do.
Yep. Versus Wagner Prado. Now, on to my opinion, the best that this man has looked in his whole career.
And I'm going to agree with George.
I don't know if it's because he was hungry or he needed money to feed his wife and kid, or he.
And remember, you said that because when you talk about hungry, we want to talk about the thing you sent me about Big Country, because that was really on point. What he said, Big Country, Roy Nelson.
About Dana? Yeah, we'll bring that in later.
We'll bring that back in.
Yeah.
But John Fitch, he's what he's alluding to is John Fitch's decision over Eric Silva.
And look, in defense of John Fitch did everything in John Fitch's power to finish that fight. That was phenomenal. It wasn't the typical John Fitch, I'm going to lay on you and kind of just try to control you. He legitimately was like, I need this fight of the night. I need submission of the night. I need KO of the night. And he did. They got fight of the night.
And by the third round, he took Eric Silva's pretty much his will. He really did. I hate to say it that way, but Eric Silva just was like, I'm done.
Yeah,
you know,
he took that kid's soul. You can see it in his eyes. Yeah. And he said, look, I was tired in the third round. He was a little tired, and he's like, I just couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And Fitch was relentless.
Yeah, he without a doubt, that is definitely a little bit different of a John Fitch we've seen, in contrast to his last couple fights, and he was on. Now,
because coming into this fight, he was one of the people, because they've always had this pay, are we getting paid enough?
I didn't pick him winning. Did you pick him to win it?
No, I didn't pick him to win either.
I had fucking Silva winning that shit.
But he came out and said, look, we're compensated, but we're not compensated that well.
Yeah.
You just got $70,000 on top of whatever your salary was. So.
Yeah. And that's going to be another topic of discussion. But anyway,
Big knock.
So what we're alluding to, if this video
Glover
ever manages to stay up, it'll be a miracle. But anyway, Glover. We'll go to that one. Want to go
Look good.
Yeah.
Until he dropped his hands and let Fabio punch him with a left hand.
Which is something that he probably won't want to do. But
nope.
Under any of the circumstances, he got the TKO.
Which gets him in line to fight Rampage.
Yeah. And who do you got on that one?
It depends.
Yeah.
Is Rampage going to be healthy? I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
Rampage, whether he wins or loses lately, he said, I was banged up. I shouldn't have taken the fight, but I took the fight for the fans.
Well, some people you don't get it when they fight you. It's either they're hot or they're cold with their performance. With Rampage, lately it's his personality. You don't know which Rampage you're
getting. He sat here time and time again and said, I want out of the UFC. Leave.
Well,
leave.
Yeah.
Just leave.
But then he comes back.
You want to know why? Because Daddy Dana goes, bones.
There's some money actually in that envelope. I'm going to let you guys know. Anyway, now.
That's why Rampage is still there. Yeah. Big Nog.
Big Nog. You know what?
Dave, jiu-jitsu don't work on me, Herman.
It did work. It worked. It worked. Let me tell you something. I don't want to fight Big Nog in Brazil. Because he's just, that's like
a different creature.
Yeah, it's like he turns into fucking Captain America
Hulk.
Or Captain Brazil.
Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, something. He's just different.
Yeah, I wouldn't take him. No.
Now, the big thing was obviously the headliner, which was between Anderson Silva and Stephan Bonnar, and it took a whole 4 minutes and 40 seconds to be pretty much over with. But it's not so much the 4 minutes and 40 seconds in length that was impressive. It was the fact that Anderson Silva was like, yeah, I got this. When you look over and you're holding a man that is physically that much bigger than you than Stephan Bonnar, some people are like, oh, he's a big motherfucker.
Yeah, Stephan Bonner's around 240 when he cuts to 205.
Right. And
I'd say Anderson Silva's probably around 205, 215.
Yeah. He probably, Anderson Silva may walk around 215, but he just had him. He welcomed him to come up against the cage. At one point, he sits there, and maybe the corner was saying, looked like he was in trouble. He just kind of looked at him like, I got this shit. And
Watching him fight is the equivalent of watching Michael Jordan play basketball, or watching Nolan Ryan when he was on, or watching Tiger Woods when he was on. You are watching one of the, if not the greatest athlete at his sport in his prime right now, destroying people
and this
at
is
their own game.
At their own game, and this is where sometimes where we've made the argument why Anderson Silva is the best pound for pound fighter when that becomes the topic at hand. Do you see someone like GSP, who is good, a great athlete? Do you see him in any fight acting like that? Now, could you imagine him fighting a middleweight fight acting like that?
In GSP's defense, he's not a counterpuncher.
No, he's not.
And let me tell you, in my opinion, the quickest way to get somebody to throw a punch at you? Put your hands down at your side.
Yeah.
And for all you people out there, if you ever go to get in a street fight and the guy across from you puts his hands down at his side, turn around, go the other fucking direction.
Right.
You want nothing to do with that cat.
This is the thing.
And that's what Anderson does. Anderson puts his hands down at his side and goes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, punch me.
When Anderson Silva, I mean, wrestling, he can wrestle, obviously.
Yeah.
He's great at BJJ. I mean, obviously, when he fought Chael Sonnen, you sat there, he pulled the guard, and you just kind of sat there and waited for him, waited for his opening.
The cheating kid.
And when it comes to stand-up, he's good. And that's why it's mixed martial arts.
His stand-up is better than good.
Yeah. And that's the thing that makes him so good all over, because he's a great all-around fighter. He has so many fucking weapons, and the motherfucker is versatile. Anyway. Enough of that, because we knew that. Vegas knew that. Everybody knew that it was pretty much going to end up the way it did, and it was quick and it was over with. And fucking hats off, to Stephan Bonnar for taking the fight, because he fights and he comes to fight and he did the best he could, like anybody else who gets their ass whipped by Anderson Silva.
You know what Vegas didn't see, and no one saw, and I don't think anyone could predict seeing? Your next coaches for the Ultimate Fighter were announced today.
We're filming this Tuesday.
Yeah, when the news broke. So
Right.
by the time you see this is old hat. You already all know, and you've
Right.
already.
That doesn't mean we can still fucking talk about it.
The article broke on MMA Junkie. In 5 minutes, it had 256 comments.
Yeah.
Who can elicit that kind of news?
Yes.
Who can elicit that kind of pay-per-view buys? Who can elicit that type of anger? None other than Chael P. Sonnen. Yeah. And who's he fighting? Or, I'm sorry, who are you coaching against?
Jon Jones, who everybody has all of a sudden developed this huge hate for because he didn't take a fight. It's funny, but
No. I just in case you didn't hear that again, and I'm not there with you. Mm-hmm. After I shit all over my office chair and was in shock and had to be resuscitated, Jon Jones' next title defense will be against Chael P. I'm 0-1. I lost to Babalu in 88. Sonnen. I have a 6-5 record in the UFC, Sonnen. I've never held a fucking fake belt, let alone a real belt in the UFC, Sonnen.
Sonnen. Can I say something?
He is fucking garbage. He shouldn't be a fighter. Go the fuck somewhere else. Go be in Bellator. Go be in the... Nope, they're not there.
We're going to get a lot of
they're not
comments
there. Oh, wait, they're not there. That's right. When you run a monopoly, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Ain't that right?
This is the problem. And everybody's going to be like, oh, George is going on fucking right. But this is the problem with it. And it's not, some people are going to say, you guys are hating on Chael Sonnen. No, we're not. I'm not. I'm actually defending the people like Roy Nelson in the light heavyweights who are busting their ass to get a title shot at Jon Jones, and the people who rightfully should get these shots.
Why?
Because
No. Fuck that. Yeah. Why? Because basically, for you people who are watching this and don't understand
get a grasp
context,
of how fucked up it is.
It would be like this: start of the NFL season, the Seattle Seahawks football team. I'm just grabbing you because of what your cornerback did. Just starts talking cash shit. There's no season. They now play the New York Giants in the Super Bowl. Done.
Yeah.
That's what's equivalent to just what happened.
Yeah.
There are no number one contender matches anymore because it's solely on how marketable can you be.
Right.
And you don't have to win to be marketable.
Everybody should just start running off at the fucking mouth.
Run off at the mouth or start getting cock pictures.
And losing.
I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Just put your cock out there. I don't know what else you can do to be marketable. Yeah. If that's the case, then Uriah Faber should be champ. GSP will never lose. Someone's got to be better looking than Anderson Silva. Mm-hmm. And if not, like Kevin said, if you suck, just run off at the fucking mouth.
Right. I mean, because it really comes a point where I feel like it's and I there's got to be some fighters and UFC fighters out there, they're probably scared to speak up because, their job.
Because they work in a monopoly.
They work in but there's got to be that are very pissed off about this. And I don't know. Do you have exactly?
I have the quote, but this doesn't have exactly to do with this. This has to do kind of the overall theme.
But this in the overall theme and what George is getting at is this. Okay, you better read that shit. Okay. The overall theme of what he's going to read is something that Roy Nelson wrote, and the big thing about it is listen to it. The words that came out of his mouth, because he's right, because Chael Sonnen's the example of this in one avenue. And it's like, it's a fucking problem because just go ahead and read it.
All right, this is an excerpt from what Roy Nelson said. Roy Nelson, what grabbed me to even read the article is he said Dana White and I are going to fight. I was like, oh, shit.
I'd like to see that.
You want my $60?
You'll get it.
I like Roy Nelson because...
We'll get my $60 and George will be on the couch beside me.
Yeah, and I'm not...
Bringing cupcakes.
I'm not watching the show, so I understand maybe his coaching doesn't. But this is his opinion, and this is. And until they get some regulation in this sport, you always get quotes from me when dealing with MMA being called a sport.
Right.
There's no regulation in your sport. It's not really a sport. And what I mean by no regulation is, depending on where you fight, depends on what you can and can't get away with.
Right.
And I'm not penalizing any of you fighters. I would do the same thing. I would get away with whatever I can.
Right.
But this is Roy Nelson's opinion.
And I like it.
Now that we're in the business aspect and we're in the fight business, it's a dog-eat-dog world. And now that my wife is pregnant, now you're taking money from my kid. Now it's a business aspect, and I just want everyone to be level. Either I can juice or you can make everybody not juice. It's either one or the other. I don't care really which it is. I just need to know what the rules are so I can play by the rules and make everybody level.
Right. There's just no fucking rules. You don't know what to do. And that's what Roy Nelson is saying, is that he doesn't know what the fucking rules are. There are no fucking rules. And in every other major sport, there's rules. And if you break them, then you're suspended or you're fucking out.
And what Kevin means is he's not talking about rules in the octagon. It's the shit that goes on outside the octagon and getting prepared. And if you haven't seen it, dude, go back and watch one of our drug shows. Each state has a regulation, a committee.
Right. A board.
Yeah. A sports, an overseeing sports committee.
Yeah, athletic commission.
And
And if you fight here, they allow your testosterone levels to be one thing. If you fight here, they don't care. If you fight here, they allow it to be. So, to some degree, you get these fighters, and it gets to the point where if I'm fighting George and I'm the man, and all of a sudden I know George is fucking hitting tests, and he's hitting shit. I know he's fucking taking, testosterone, TRT, and, I'm thinking, well, fuck. I got to keep up.
Or you don't
keep
get
up with
paid.
the fucking Joneses, man, because it is an advantage. Anybody that says taking that shit is not a fucking advantage obviously has never fucking taken it in their life, and it is a fucking big advantage.
So, but it shows like there's problems in MMA,
and
the
there's
news
problems
that came
in
out.
integrity in the sport, man. I mean, to some degree. I mean, the big word is integrity.
It starts at the top.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you look at it, and you look at someone like Chael Sonnen. Take what Chael Sonnen. It's not about Chael Sonnen. Like, I'm going to tell you what.
He's playing by the rules of the game that are laid out there.
He's playing by
the rules that Dana White have put out there says if you run off at the mouth, you get people to hate you. You get people to buy. Because let me tell you,
you keep your test levels at a certain level at this state and this state or this state.
We're going to promote the shit out of you.
Right.
Just pass every test. Run off at the mouth. You know what? When he fights Jon Jones on pay-per-view, it's going to be.
And meanwhile, the guys who aren't taking TRT and the guys who have earned a legitimate title shot in that weight class, fuck you.
Exactly. I thought Henderson was supposed to have this fight. So Henderson's
gets not selling tickets.
Nope.
That's what it amounts to. That's what it comes down to. For all you Dan Henderson fans and people who love Hendo and all that shit, and the guy who's right in fucking Chael Sonnen's camp, Henderson doesn't have a big mouth. And you know what? He's going to get overlooked because he's not fucking selling tickets.
Or knocking people out.
Yep.
So, to me, if you want to get ahead in the UFC and you want to get paid, you better start finishing fights.
And it's I'm going to tell you something. The mouth...
You don't even really have to finish fights. Because if you can't finish fights, just run your mouth. And again, Kevin and I, we are not digging at Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen, the rules have been laid out in front of him.
Chael Sonnen's looking out for Chael Sonnen. I don't blame him. I mean,
I don't blame him one bit.
I mean, we give him a hard time and shit like this, but we give everybody a fucking hard time.
If I was 6-5 and my window was going like this, because that's truly what it's doing for you. Because you don't have the talent to stay there. You don't. He's not that good. You think they can hear this?
Well, no. And unless he keeps getting more recurring roles in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Great fucking show, by the way.
It's a great show. And he's perfect for that.
It's damn sight near the truth.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, okay. What's your opinion?
What's your opinion on what's going on?
The Ultimate Fighter, you could say, went hand in hand with that's how we saw the fight that supposedly gave MMA the push.
Yeah.
The show's dying.
Yep.
Let it die.
This is something. Let it die. And this is another thing I want you. There are going to be people that are going to come back because Chael Sonnen. George and I probably disagree a little bit on this. A little contrast with us. Chael Sonnen's George just thinks Chael Sonnen. I'm a little bit darker and older, but I think Chael Sonnen's a good fighter.
He's 6-5.
He's 6-5, and there's a lot of things, and people going, well, he's good. This is the problem. We know he's good, but he's not fucking winning. And you know what? There's a lot of other fighters out there that are waiting to get a payday, that are busting their ass, that are winning, and that are proving themselves. And you know what? You can't discredit those fucking fighters and not give them shots.
How about those guys who fought at 205 before?
Yeah.
How about those guys who have gotten in line thinking, oh, look, here's a number one contender. Like, if I beat this guy and beat this guy, that should put me wait. Oh, wait, there's no more number one contender matches.
Yeah.
There's no more eliminator matches.
Nothing.
So, I don't... Like, who gets the next title shot?
Yeah.
The pretty guy? The guy who's knocking people out?
Yeah.
The guy who's never fought? Then fucking, why doesn't Faber fight for the 170 belt versus
The biggest thing is just what's so fucking crazy is that it kind of...
Let's go old school. Take this shit back to UFC 1. No weight classes. Fuck it.
Just fight.
I mean, if this is the way it's going to be, no weight classes. Fuck it.
I just feel like it's a slap in the face to the guys that are
it's insulting to the fighters who are there.
Alexander Gustafsson, people who
it's insulting to the fans because I cannot wait to. Because here's the thing: we're not going to get an honest justification. And this is what I said: go to the Facebook group and look at what I said.
Right.
And if you didn't, then well, you should see, because out there I put what I would need for Dana White to say for me to forgive him for this.
Right.
For this egregious act, in my opinion.
That's a big word. And I'm very impressed. Like the last few shows, I mean, you're looking kind of like royalty right now too. After when you say a big word, that's like I'm. Not only do you say it, but you look over me like this.
Because it's usually an ending.
George with the big words. Anyway, guys, tell us what your feelings are. Comment board. When you get a chance, run over to FoxWatches.com
Kevin 30.
and check out our video. Kevin 30 will get you $30 off of any watch. And we're out of here. Peace.